Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you here on this beautiful first day of the year. Can you believe that? January 1, Sunday, January 1, 2023. Let's all say it's 2023 together. Get ourselves going.
It's 2023.
Wow, that's a lot to take in, but it really is. A whole new year of our lives. So it's a good day to be here. It's our Burning Bowl service today. I know we have some guests in the house, but it's not your first time here, correct? If you want one of our gift bags with information about Unity, we have them at the back, but we won't insist you take it. You've been here before. You're part of the community. Anyone else here for the very first time today? I don't think so. I know we have some folks listening in online as well. So we thank you for joining us, whether you're here or out there. And we thank you for your ongoing support of the church that keeps us humming along here. We so much appreciate your tithes and donations and gifts. I always like to start with just a few announcements up front about the Burning Bowl enactment today. If it's new to you, I'm hoping people at home have a candle handy and a couple slips of paper. Maybe that's really all you need to do the Burning Bowl ceremony. For here, you should have gotten a little release slip. If not, we've got more in the front row next to Larry. I think, Tamara, you came in. You might want to get one of those. The little slip is a flash slip. They burn really fast, it goes away immediately, whatever you've written down on it. That's your release slip. So you'll think about during the service today what you might want to leave behind you as you move into the new year. And you have to be concise. It's a tiny little slip of paper. Sometimes it's just something that feels like a limitation or a burden in your mind or on your heart. A worry, you can write it on there, and later on in the service we'll invite you to drop that in the burning bowl. And then the other piece of paper is kind of an intention, a visioning piece of paper, and on that you kind of tell the universe, tell God what you want to experience more of in the coming year. So you can think about that during the service as well. And eventually, and you can even continue that after the service if you want, you can fill that out, seal it up in a self-addressed envelope, and put it in the basket up on the table at the end of the service perhaps. We try to mail those back mid-year so we can kind of do a little assessment of how are things going with my visioning. It's a good way of kind of heading into the new year. The Unity Women's Luncheon is this week. Linda Wessner has sent out a notice about that. Newcomers are always welcome. The Unity Women gather at Scramblers Restaurant at 12:30 on Tuesday, January 3. And next Sunday is a guest speaker Sunday, and we have a new spiritual teacher for us, for our community anyway. Reverend Dana Horton is going to be joining us next Sunday, and he's an ordained minister in the Science of Mind Center for Spiritual Living tradition, and he's speaking on, why let the facts get in the way of a good story. It sounds like a good talk. I look forward to watching that. And finally, you all know this, since given the weather we've been through, but a note about winter weather. As always, we had to do it last week. Our Christmas Eve service was canceled because of the level 2 snow emergency in Delaware County. That's what we go by. And I think we actually had level 3, didn't we, on Christmas Eve night. So whenever the weather's getting like that, you can check online, or we'll put out notifications also, of course, on Facebook and the website. But that's when we cancel services and just do it on Facebook and YouTube only. I think that's about it for announcements and for getting settled. And so we'll go into prayer. And we like to always to begin with prayer. I have a very simple little prayer song we'll use. It's such an important day of the year, this first day of the year. Focus of this prayer is about just being wide open to that. Being wide open, being willing to believe in new things, being ready to receive new things. It's a song of Joe's and mine. It's called I Am Open. Just a little easy chant. I am here. I am open. I am willing to believe. I am here. I am open. I am ready close our eyes for a moment and feel that readiness within us. We are ready to receive from this vast universe, from this vast wellspring of possibilities in this God-infused universe, willing to believe in all those possibilities, beyond our sight, beyond our perception. We have no idea what the year ahead holds for us, but we are wide open to it, wide open to unexpected blessings, to new guidance, to new opportunities coming our way. We do not let anything block our awareness of these vast possibilities. There are no limitations. With God, all things are possible. As we stay in that limitless, wide open space, we are ready to receive. Day by day, we are guided from within, following the light as it comes to us, ready to walk into new experiences, new awareness, knowing we have within us all that we need to meet the challenges of the day, ready to become more than we have been before. We know this truth for everyone in our sanctuary this morning, for everyone joining us online. We know this truth for living beings everywhere, each one of us deeply God-connected beings, in direct touch with the source of all our good. So we proclaim that great power and presence within us that makes all things possible, knowing we are one with it and giving thanks for it. Thank you, God, for your unfailing presence within us and all around us. Amen. Amen. All right. Well, I am going to, we're blessed we have a special musical guest with us today, so I will move into that, and I'm going to give Joe a minute to go down to the camera so he's got things situated up here. So thrilled to have Hallie with us again this morning. Hallie Nolder, she's Barbie Nolder, Norm's granddaughter, and some of their family are here as well. Hallie was here maybe 3 years ago, I'm thinking, to do a song or two, and she's back with us today. So she's going to do this first one by herself. It's with a recorded track, and I'll let her introduce the song, and we'll do one with her after the service. But for right now, let's welcome Hallie Nolder back to our church today. On this one? Okay.
Yeah.
I'll get out of the way then.
I'm singing Into the Unknown, originally from Frozen 2, but by Panic at the Disco.
All right.
Oh
Every one of us. We like to think we know what to expect, but it's a new year. It's a new year of our lives. I stumbled on, I was looking for some New Year's humor, and I might have used these before, but I thought these were kind of funny. A couple of prayers for the new year. This first New Year's prayer is a prayer for the elderly, I guess. You all know the Serenity Prayer? This is the senility prayer. It says, God grant me the senility to forget the people I never liked anyway, the good fortune to run into the ones that I do, and the eyesight to tell the difference. Like that one. And here's a New Year's Day prayer for one and all. Dear Lord, so far this year I've done well. I haven't gossiped, I haven't lost my temper, I haven't been greedy, grumpy, nasty, selfish, or overindulgent. I'm very thankful for that. But in a few minutes, God, I'm probably going to need a lot more help because I'm about to get out of bed. Amen. I like that, don't you? You got to take it a day at a time. I think that idea is there. Well, this is an auspicious day. I was thinking a lot about that. I don't know how often New Year's Day falls on a Sunday, but that's auspicious. And I was just looking at the numbers. You know, this is 1/1 of 2023. So I was just thinking 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's a good way to get going. It's like a calling out a start on something. It sounds like a good way to start a new adventure. It sounds like a good way to do something together. You know how when you're like lifting a table with somebody or something like that, you'll go 1, 2, 3, boom. It's kind of like that. We want to do something together in this new year of our lives. And it also sounds like something easy, something childlike. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Easy as 1, 2, 3. So kind of heading into this new year with this idea, we're going to do the burning bowl thing today. Perfect way of doing some releasing of old stuff, old barriers, burdens, sense of limitations, and really opening up to new possibilities and affirming that they're active in your life. Wonderful new things coming into your life and into the life of our world, our communities. That's a wonderful day for that, a perfect time for that. And one of the greatest powers given to us is our power to make believe, to use our imaginations. There's a folklorist by the name of Maria Totter. She's a folklore and mythology expert at Harvard. And she talks about how important make-believe is in children, but also in us, in all of us. That make-believe, in other words, imagination, make-believe is a way of making beliefs. That's how we come into new ways of thinking and new ways of believing in things that are possible for us through our imaginations. I find fresh, maybe it's particularly because we're fresh from those Christmas movies. We watch certain ones every year. And I was struck this year by how many of them are about this idea of remembering our power of make-believe, of imagination. Miracle on 34th Street, anyone like me watch that again this year? Natalie Wood was needing to learn how to imagine, learning how to believe, make believe. Make believe you're a monkey. She had to be taught by that, you know, how to do that by Kris Kringle. How to believe in Christmas and Santa Claus. Making beliefs. That will open up new possibilities for her if we can use our imaginations, dream up new things. A Christmas Carol, the Dickens classic. We watch a favorite one of those every year. Maybe some of you did too. That's also about making new beliefs. And Dickens, who wrote that story, he was well aware of the power of the imagination, how we dream up new beliefs and new possibilities, and how important that faculty is. I was reading a little bit about Dickens. He didn't have an easy way of it growing up. Early child life was fine until about the age of 12, and then his father got behind in debts and was sent to debtor's prison, which is what happened in those days. No bankruptcy laws. If somebody couldn't keep up with their bills, off they went to a debtor's prison. And the custom was that the wife and younger children went with them. But Charles Dickens was considered old enough to work. He was 12. No child labor laws either in those days. So he was working in a bootblacking factory at age 12, did so for quite a long while, and making money to pay who he boarded with, a neighbor that took him in as a boarder. And that just really captures my imagination, thinking about that a bright, talented boy stuck in a dismal factory 12 hours a day, but his imagination was going, and the stories began to come out very, very soon. And the experience he was having informed his stories. He became a lifelong advocate for children's rights and for social justice issues. So he knew very well the power of imagination and how we needed it to make a new world, to make new beliefs. I think it's important to remember the same power is in us. We haven't lost it, even if we've grown up and we don't play make-believe anymore. We have active, powerful imaginations that are gifts of the divine. They are gifts of God within all of us that are available for our use to expand our horizons, to make new beliefs about what's possible for us. Jesus taught this very powerfully. For humans, he said, there are limitations, but not for God. With God, all things are possible. It's limitless. We don't know what the possibilities are. That's why we need to stay so completely open and ready to receive and expectant. So if we concur that this is a good day to do it, and we need to kind of get our imaginations more strongly in gear and cultivate this make-believe power, this faculty of divine imagination in us, how do we do it? It's as easy as 1, 2, 3, I decided. It's easy as 1, 2, 3. The first one is feed your imagination with what you focus on. As we direct our focus, that feeds our imagination. Our imagination is fed by others, by stories we hear, by things we see, by things we witness, by experiences we have. And we have a kind of a responsibility then to give ourselves good nourishment with what we focus on. It'll feed our imagination. And we're better at doing this in the negative sense than in the positive sense. Psychologists talk about how we have a negativity bias in our minds and our brains. We have a negativity bias. It's much easier for us to dream up negative possibilities. What if this happens? And what'll happen to me then? And the mind will go on it. Anyone ever have this experience in life?
Oh, absolutely.
Very, very common experience in life. We have a faculty for that. And apparently it goes back to, it's the primitive part of our brains. Goes way back when we were pursued by predators and things like that, and we had to be hyper-vigilant and ready to be alarmed and to flee or something like that. We don't need that fight or flight thing as much anymore, but it can be hard to suppress that sometimes when we're under stress or frightened. So we have to, that comes more naturally sometimes. So we really need to kind of train ourselves a little bit to focus on the good. To focus on the good possibilities, to focus on what nourishes our imagination in positive ways and empowering ways. I try to be really a lot more careful than in younger years about what I take into my consciousness, and I suspect many of you are that way too. I sometimes look back and I just think, how amazed I am at what I subjected my consciousness to in the past. Like if in my teens or 20s, I'd go to a movie with somebody, let them pick it, whatever, it's fine. And then I'd leave with horrible imagery that I'd be dealing with all through the night. Anyone have an experience of that? Image is very powerful. I think more powerful than words alone. The pictures stay in our head. They're very powerful. So we need to be careful about where we focus our attention. This idea of how important the images are more than the words. I think it's part of the reason why on all these medical commercials, for medicines that you find on TV sometimes, the images will be all lovely. It's people on picnics and things like this, what I'm talking about. And the text at the bottom could cause, paralysis and death, But people aren't really reading that so much. It's the images. Mm-hmm. It's the images that stick with us, and I think the advertisers know that. They're probably required to put that information out there, but stick it at the bottom as words. People will be focusing on the happy people at the picnic. We need to kind of be sure what kind of imagery we're feeding our imaginations in a big way. I think this is, in Unity, we've had a long tradition, especially with children, of doing some kind of vision boarding. But I've known lots of adults to use this vision board approach to all kinds of things in their lives that they wanted to envision new possibilities for. I've seen people do vision boards, and that's really just collecting images and putting them on a poster board or something like that. I've seen people do that for relationships. I've seen people do that for the job of their dreams. I've seen people do it for all kinds of things. to look back, to kind of put out there, and the kind of images you want to feed yourself with. It can be very powerful. And we need to look for positive stories around us, too. We need to look for positive imagery and positive stories. I really look for that in the news now. I really kind of sift through, and I'm careful about which ones I delve into more. On a digital news feed, it's easier to do that. There's usually just a headline or something, and I'll think, oh, okay, I don't need to delve into that one. But there are stories you do want to, because you know they're going to nourish your imagination. Caught a story a number of years ago about a delightful girl who started something she called the Three Wishes Project. Ruby Chitsey from somewhere in Arkansas. It was a Steve Hartman story on CBS Sunday Morning some years back, and then he just recently did an update on what's been going on with that. I might have shared her story here. She's a lovely girl. Her mom was a nurse in county nursing homes, and she would be in and out of like 3 different nursing homes every week. And Ruby started going with her mother. She was about 9. And she would be with her, with her mom who was working, and she would visit residents while she was there. And she got the idea to start asking them if they had 3 wishes, what would they like? And she'd go room to room and she'd visit with people. Do you remember hearing about this story? I think it was spread a good deal around. But and she thought people would ask for big things, but it turned out no, they wanted things like an avocado. Couldn't get avocados. You can relate to that, some of you, especially California people. Avocados are everywhere. She wanted some avocados. Apparently Vienna sausages were very, very popular. Lots of the nursing home residents wanted those little cans of Vienna sausages. Little things. She was kind of amazed at what little things they really requested. But she started delivering these little gifts. She'd run a cart up and down the halls. After it was aired on TV in 2019, it started spreading. And she founded basically a nonprofit called Three Wishes Project, and you can look it up if you want, threewishesproject.org. And it's a youth-led nonprofit that fulfills small wishes to nursing home seniors. And it's across the country now, and so they have fulfilled over 40,000 wishes, they estimate, since Ruby's story hit the news in 2019. It's a kind of unusual charity that it's led by kids, founded by a kid, and really fueled by Ruby's love, by her loving heart. It's a lovely thing, pure love in action. Little Ruby, what a precious jewel she is. And who could have imagined something like that? She had a vision of something, and infused by love, motivated by love, and it caught on and it spread. Good ideas are infectious. Things like this. That fed me considerably. That fed my imagination. That fed my heart, just hearing about that story. I think we can feed our imaginations with what we focus on. We can practice empowering make-believe. We can do vision boards. We can create images. A vision board is a great thing to do at the beginning of the year. Cut out some images from magazines, or find some images online that capture what you like. Create a collage of that. You can do it online. It doesn't have to be done on paper. A collage of just the joy you want to experience, the spirit you want to have, the opportunities, and be freewheeling with them. We really kind of need to coach ourselves on, don't set any limits. Don't even think about what are the details. How can I make that happen? Is that even possible? Don't even think about it. Just gather these images of what looks like joy and freedom and peace to you, and put them together. Create a kind of a montage of your beautiful visions for the year. So we can feed our imaginations, we can practice make-believe, practice imagining, and we can pray it up. That's the third one, 1, 2, 3. We can pray it up. There's a wonderful writer on imagination. His name was Neville. Any of you ever read any Neville? It's a one-name writer. He back in the 50s, I think, was a heyday of his material coming out, his books. And the one I have on my shelf is called The Magic of Imagination. It's really an empowering book about what a divine faculty this is within us, and how incredibly powerful it is to create new beliefs and new lives. It's transformative. He wrote in his book that your imagination is of God, and with God all things are possible. Where you are in your imagination, there you will be in the flesh. Where you are in your imagination, there you will be in the flesh. And he suggests that we must so fall in love with the state we want to live in that it kind of haunts our minds. That's where they are. We're always thinking of these kinds of images of ourselves. And he talks about how that then will bring it into your life. You don't have to know how, but it'll match up with where you are in your imaginings and in your consciousness. It'll bring into your life that thing. You will reap what you sow, as it says in the Bible. He calls it in his books the law of identical harvest. It's a phrase I like, law of identical harvest. You'll get the same kind of thing coming at you that you're focusing on in your mind and heart, especially when you really make it real for yourself and feel it. A lot of other Unity writers talk about it as the law of attraction. We attract to ourselves where we are in our heads and hearts. Law of identical harvest, law of attraction, same idea. So Neville strongly recommends taking this approach to prayer, and in prayer, just trying to do something like this pretty much daily, routinely, to close your eyes for a few moments, and for a few moments to try to quietly move yourself right into the feeling of your answered prayer. Whatever it is, you're already there. You're living this satisfying life, this abundant life. You're blessedly partnered with loved ones. You just kind of get the feeling of you having that. You might get the feeling of somebody talking to you about how fortunate you are to have these things in your life, and you get the glow of that feeling inside you. And he says, kind of see it, touch it, feel its reality, and live in that feeling for 2 or 3 minutes. Do that every day, and you'll sort of begin to start changing the feeling of who I am and what's possible. And of course he makes that point, do not concern yourself with how you're going to outwardly get there. This is all about kind of creating it from the inside out, being there in your mind and heart, and then watching as it begins to outpicture. It happens by divine creative action on our behalf. We don't have to figure it out. We just have to do the inner reflecting. It's really easier than we make it. We think we have to plot and plan our way through the year, figure out all our problems and the answers to all our problems. The trouble is, our minds are limited. We can only imagine so much. We can only fix or figure out so much. And I think many of you, like me, might have to agree that many of the best things in our life came by grace. We did not think them up, plan them up, and order them up. Opportunities arose. Things came our way for which we said thank you and accepted them. We were ready to receive them. So what do you want for yourself this year? For your family, for your friends, for your community, for our world? What do you want to dream up? What kind of new beliefs do you want to entertain and live in and help create the reality of? I was also touched by another story I caught in the news, which I thought, this captures what I want for our world, I think. And it fed my imagination. So I wanted to share it with you in case you didn't catch this story. It's been circulating widely. It was a New York Times article on Christmas Day, something that happened in the Buffalo area where they got hit hard, like 4 feet of snow or something, and lots of troubles on the roadways and everything, and power outages, a difficult situation. But this one uplifting story came out of that it really fed my heart and mind around the holidays. On Christmas Day, there was a South Korean tour group, tourists. They rented a van, a couple in the van, it was their honeymoon, and there was a college student from Indiana and his mother, and it was a group of 9 tourists from South Korea and their driver in a van from Yellow Balloon Tours, and they did New York City and Washington, D.C., and wound up right near Buffalo when the storm was coming in bad. And they saw the weather getting worse and worse from their van windows, and sure enough, they wound up in a drift off the road in thick snow, and were stuck. Very, very, it's like a suburb of Buffalo. So they go up to the nearest house. It's owned by a 40-year-old dentist named Alex, his wife Andrea, who is a nurse practitioner, happened to be their home. And they go to the door to request a shovel to try to dig out. Well, Alex, surveyed the van quickly and said, no, you're not going to get out of here. You'd be working all day. It's sub-zero temperatures. So he was a native Buffalonian, he and his wife. They'd lived there their whole lives. He said, no, you're all coming in. So we invited them all in, and they spent 2 nights with this couple and these, it was 10 South Koreans, including the driver, and spent 2 nights there. They had a 3-bedroom home, and they just opened up the guest room, got out the air mattresses, the couches, and people slept everywhere. And the South Koreans did the cooking. Wonderful cooking. The mother of the student from Indiana University, she was a fabulous cook, but they all, the South Koreans tended the kitchen, and they were delighted to find not only were they the kindest people they'd ever met and so hospitable, they had a well-stocked kitchen, it was ready for the storm, and they had Korean spices, because they happened to like Korean food. So it was like well-stocked with food and all the Korean spices they needed to make these wonderful, wonderful meals. 3 of them were fluent in English, so there was plenty of ability to share stories and communicate. So they spent 2 nights there telling stories. They watched the Buffalo Bills beat the Chicago Bears, I think, on Christmas Eve. They ate wonderful Korean meals. Mr. Che, one of the Koreans, said it was like kind of like fate, you know, the luck of arriving at just the right door, who had just what they needed. And Alex and his wife, Andrea, said it was just a unique blessing, and we've enjoyed it so much. We'll never forget it. The South Koreans said it was the best Christmas they could have imagined, spending time with real Americans in their home. You know, it was a wonderful thing for everybody. This couple from Buffalo, they planned a visit to South Korea now, where they would have lots of friends to stay with, as it turns out. I love that idea. This is what community is. This is what people really are like at heart. Despite the divisions and the challenges, when push comes to shove in the moment, we're one, and we know that, and we want to support one another and help one another. We want to live in peace with one another. Let that nourish our imaginations moving into this new year of our lives, how we want to live ourselves and with our loved ones, and how we want to live in our world together. Making believe has power. Your imagination has power. That's the key teaching to focus on, I think, on this first day of the year. What we focus on, what we make up, what we imagine, that becomes the beliefs we hold in our mind and heart. That becomes the beliefs and possibilities. And then thoughts held deeply in mind and heart, they begin to outpicture in your life. That's what will begin to manifest then. Don't worry about how. Just dream it up. Just dream it up. So in a moment, we are going to move into the burning bowl thing, and I'll explain that again just real quickly, and I might demonstrate how the flash paper goes up. You put on this little piece of paper, and maybe you've done that, or maybe you want to do it in the next couple of minutes, what you might want to leave behind you, something that maybe impedes your ability to dream big. Some sense of limitation, or a worry, or something that hopefully there's a pen near you. If not, raise your hand and somebody will get you one. They're in the backs of the chairs. And in a moment, I'll invite you to come up and put that in the burning bowl. And on the letter, that's something you can take a little more time with if you like. We've got a basket to put those sealed letters in at the end of the service. That's what you want to envision, what you're dreaming up for yourself this year. So for a real quick minute, I want you to see what I'm doing with the flash, especially if you haven't done this before. Can I have your attention just a minute? The flash paper goes up fast, so you don't hang on to it. Most of you know this, right? You've done flash paper before. It's like the kind of thing magicians use. So whatever's on here goes away quickly. So you just kind of drop it real quick. You guys watching over there? I don't want anybody to get burned. So it just kind of goes in fast and drop it. And it's gone, poof. All right, we're going to take a moment. Joe and I might chant a little bit. And on that same song, that prayerful song, while you come up and deposit your burning slips over the next couple of minutes, okay?
We're going to do it right here.
Yeah, we're going to do it right here, I think. And did you show them the demo over here online? At home, maybe you have a clay bowl or something, or maybe you have a fireplace nearby, something to drop that in. We're using the quick stuff here. It goes fast. It's like magic. Good job, Howard.
It's magic.
It's like magic the way it goes away. Boom. It's a good thing to affirm while you do this. I am here. to receive. I am ready to receive. That was some powerful letting go going
Sure
on
was.
there, releasing things. All right. In a moment, we'll have another song, but I think right now the right thing to do is to take a moment in prayer and to affirm the release of these burdens and limitations. So we close our eyes for a moment, and we know that this intention to release and let go is already in action and has power. We see whatever this is we've written down on our release slips being eliminated, disappearing from our lives without our effort or strain. We are simply not believing in it anymore, and it disappears. It goes away, and it frees up energy for new things to take shape, for new attitudes and new beliefs and new opportunities to arise and new things to manifest in our lives. We are wide open to that, and we are ready to receive. And we are grateful to the source from which it all comes, God, the power and presence with us unfailingly. Amen.
Amen.
All right, well, we are going to, good job on that. And those letters you can kind of complete even after the service if you want to, and make sure you seal it up, address it to yourself. We'll mail it back to you sometime in the summer, and there's a basket to receive those up here. We're going to do one more song. We're going to do a song with Hallie. The three of us will do something together. It's kind of a fun song for the new year. I'll move up here. It's, now it's kind of the darkest days of the year. It's called Where is the Light? It's a song by Peter Mayer, and it's kind of a reminder that it's actually in us. So Joe will come on up. He's wearing lots of hats today. He wears them all so well, doesn't he? Yeah. It's a virtual hat, okay. I'm sorry. There we go.
Okay.
All right. Let me get my egg percussion here.
Be sure you're in the frame there.
Okay.
Song by Peter Mayer.
You can sing on the chorus if you like.
Well, it's late December, dark and cold. Where is the light? When old man year is bending low. Where is the light? When the sun runs off a bit too soon. Where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside me. When it's dark each morning when I rise. Where is the light? And it's dark when my eggs are frying. Where is the light? And it's dark when off to work I go. Where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home. Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Can you tell me? Where is the light? Can you tell me where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. It's in my skin, in my bones, in my heart, in my soul. Light like so bright and golden, like the summer's day. When the sun goes glisten in the sky, it is rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. Well, I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? And I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? And I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? And I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? Can you tell me?